When a star decides to cross the city, she's not just switching teams. She's shaking the soul of millions. In New York, baseball is religion. Every decision becomes a headline. Every move turns into conflict. And this season, one name reignited a war that never truly ended. Juan Soto, the prodigy, the phenomenon, the player who could have been the new face of the Bronx, but now wears blue and orange. The city trembled, and with good reason, because this wasn't just a jersey swap. It was a statement, a choice that echoed far beyond the league's backstage. The kid who lit up last season for the Yankees is now with the Mets. The smaller rival, the younger brother, who's starting to show signs he's tired of that role. But before we understand what's really at stake here, we need to rewind a bit. The Yankees aren't just any team. They're the empire. 27 championships. A history forged through bold decisions, billion-dollar signings, and trades that shaped decades of domination. When Alex Rodriguez was brought to the Bronx, the baseball world stopped. When Garrett Cole signed, all eyes turned again. Big names have always been part of the Yankees' identity. And then came Juan Soto. Last year, he arrived as a savior of a lukewarm season. He produced like few others. He connected with the fans. He played with intensity. It felt like the start of a new era. But at the end of the season, silence. Negotiations stalled. Numbers didn't add up. And then, suddenly, the shock. Soto signs with the Mets. A historic contract. A new chapter being written on the other side of the city. But before we go on, an invitation. If you live and breathe baseball, if you're passionate about these stories that unfold both on and off the field, you're in the right place. Here we go deep, beyond the scoreboard, beyond the stats. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a like, because what's coming next, you won't want to miss. Meanwhile, in the Bronx, something curious is happening. No Soto, no rotation ace. Missing two key arms projected for the pitching staff. Missing part of the bullpen. And yet, the Yankees are winning. They started the season with 6 wins in 8 games. Best run differential in the league. The team many expected to stumble is showing teeth, showing soul. And that raises a question. Do they ever really need Juan Soto? Of course. Losing a player of his caliber shakes any organization. But what we've seen in recent days reveals something deeper. A wound. When the Yankees played the Diamondbacks at Yankee Stadium, the win was already in the bag. 9th inning. Score in their favor. But from the stands, a chant erupted and went viral. F*** Juan Soto. A manifestation of anger, of resentment, maybe jealousy. The broadcast caught it all. The media reacted. And then the voice of reason, or maybe of shame, came from the unlikeliest of places. Michael Kay, the legendary Yankees broadcaster, got straight to the point. You won the game. Why are you chanting that? You're the big brother. Act like it. That's petty. That's shameful. Harsh words, but ones that rang true. Because behind the chant, there was a pain that goes beyond baseball. The feeling that the city lost something. That the empire is starting to crack. But the truth may be more complex. Sources close to the Yankees front office suggest that the decision not to retain Soto may have been strategic. The contract offered by the Mets was astronomical. And the Yankees, already dealing with payroll issues tied to Judge, Cole, and other high-profile names, might have chosen to maintain financial balance rather than take another billion-dollar gamble. There are also those who say that Soto, despite the chemistry with the fan base, always longed for freedom. With the Mets, he would be the star, the center of the project. Something that, in the Bronx, was always harder, with so many stars fighting for the spotlight. And so the lingering question becomes, who won? The Mets gained one of the greatest offensive talents of the generation. A player who, at 25, already has veteran-level numbers and a leader's presence. The lineup improves immediately, but the team still has holes. The rotation is unstable. The bullpen, fragile. It's a roster that needs more than one name to contend in October. The Yankees, on the other hand, are betting on the collective, on the return of their injured players, on the growth of their internal talent. And more than anything, on a group with something to prove. They seem to be playing with anger, with hunger, and that might be what turns a good season into a historic one. With Soto, the Yankees might have been more spectacular, but without him, they might be more dangerous. And the most ironic part of all, the city of New York, known for its intensity, is now living through a division that feels more emotional than athletic. The Yankees versus Mets rivalry has always existed, but rarely has it felt this personal. And Juan Soto has become the symbol of this new era. The traitor, the savior, the target, the hero. It depends on which side of the city you're on. The season is just beginning, but paths are being drawn. Narratives are being built. Soto will have to prove he's worth every penny, and the Yankees that they don't need him. And now I want to hear from you. Did the Yankees make a mistake letting Juan Soto go? Or was he the one who chose the wrong path? Will the city forgive him? Or will he be remembered as the player who split New York in half? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk, because this story is just getting started. And if you think this was the only blockbuster move of the season, hold on tight. There's a new name, maybe even bigger, on the radar, and behind the scenes, the rumors won't stop. In the next video, we're diving into another potential deal that could reshape the league and stir fans up even more. So subscribe, turn on notifications, and get ready, because the game off the field is only just beginning. The season is still in its early stages, but the silence in Milwaukee says more than any headline. It wasn't just one trade. It was two, back-to-back. No buzz, no warning. A normal Monday turned into a warning sign. The Milwaukee Brewers are making moves. And in the middle of all that movement, a name begins to circle like a shadow approaching. Freddie Peralta. Dominant arm. Team-friendly contract. Control through 2026. And now, a real target for one of baseball's biggest titans, the New York Yankees. The bombshell came in an article by John Conahan from Heavy.com. The journalist didn't hold back. If the Yankees want to strengthen their rotation, they need to go after Freddie Peralta. And if those talks have really started, the trade would likely revolve around one name, Spencer Jones. If that sounds impossible, then you're not paying attention, because everything happening around this points in one direction, movement. The Brewers aren't satisfied with just competing. They want to build. And to do that, someone has to go. Peralta could be that piece. But before we dive deeper, a quick note for those who follow MLB like a true scout. This channel is made for those who live and breathe baseball beyond the foul lines. Rumors, trades, backstage drama. It's all here. So go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, and join us, because the real game happens off the field. Now, let's really dive into what this trade would mean. Freddie Peralta isn't just a good pitcher. He's the last pillar of rotation that once featured Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff at their peak. He stepped into the spotlight almost by default, but with courage, with results, with control, command, and numbers that impress any scout in the league. In 2023, he tallied 210 strikeouts, finished the season with a 1.12 whip and an ERA that, despite the ups and downs of his team, stayed solid. More than that, Peralta is under contract through 2026 with a team option for 2027. One of the most team-friendly deals for a reliable starter in today's MLB. That's why the Yankees are watching closely, because New York started the season strong. They won, even without Garrett Cole, even with question marks on the mound. But everyone in New York knows that's not enough for October. The rotation right now is talented, but vulnerable. Rodon is inconsistent. Cortez hasn't returned to his 2022 form. Clark Schmidt is promising, but doesn't have that October pedigree. And Garrett Cole is out. The team needs a new name, a second reliable arm. A guy who steps into Game 2 of a division series and says, "I've got this." Peralta could be that guy, but the price is steep. That's where Spencer Jones comes in. Jones is currently the crown jewel of the Yankees farm system. A 6'6" slugger, absurd power, intimidating physical presence, and a strong outfield arm. He's still a project, but with sky-high potential. His swing needs refinement, but he's already shown flashes of elite power. And comparisons to Aaron Judge, while premature, aren't coming out of nowhere. He would be the centerpiece of the deal. But would he be enough? No. According to Conahan, the Yankees would have to include more. At least 2 more names. Maybe a young pitcher, like Will Warren, or a high-ceiling infielder like Roderick Arias. And that's when the decision gets tough. Because this trade is about more than talent. It's about franchise philosophy. The Yankees have historically protected their top prospects. But in recent years, that conservatism has come at a price. Names like Luis Gil, Jason Dominguez, and Anthony Volpe were kept, but the team hasn't gone past the ALCS. Now, with the pressure of a massive new contract for Juan Soto, a win-now roster, and a manager possibly on the hot seat, the message in the Yankee Stadium hallways is clear. Win. Now, Peralta gives you that. On the Brewers side, the situation is different. Milwaukee is competitive, but not dominant. The team lost Burns, saw Woodruff get hurt, and even with some wins here and there, the vibe is transitional. They don't just want to win. They want to restart smart. Trading Peralta now, at the peak of his value, is betting on the future. And Spencer Jones could be that future. A name that would put the Brewers on the map for years. A potential new face of the franchise. But giving up your best pitcher in April is risky. It could shake the clubhouse. It could split the fan base. And what about the pressure? Because if Jones doesn't pan out, this trade will be remembered for years as the move that ruined the future. That's what's at stake. And all of this is still in the realm of rumor. But rumors like this don't pop up by chance. When names, numbers, and sources start surfacing, it's because conversations are happening. Executives are evaluating. And every performance, week by week, weighs a little heavier on the scale. If Peralta stumbles, the Yankees hesitate. If Jones gets hurt, the Brewers back off. If both shine, the pressure builds. We're watching a silent chess match, where every move could shift the course of the season, maybe even the next decade. And now, I leave the question to you. If you're Milwaukee, do you trade Peralta for Spencer Jones and 2 more prospects? And if you're the Yankees, do you risk the future for a pitcher who might carry you to the World Series? Drop your thoughts below. Let's open up the discussion together. And stay tuned, because in the next video, things get even crazier. An NL All-Star could be saying goodbye before the All-Star game, a surprising name, a desperate team, and a trade package that could involve 4 players. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and brace yourself, because the season is just getting started and the fire is already climbing the walls of the MLB.